So welcome to Yin Yoga, and in tonight's class we'll be working on that back side of the body, the dark side of the body. And we'll start with a little bit of dynamic movement tonight, just to get everything oiled up a little bit, a little lubrication going. So come onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we'll start with cat and cow. As you establish the position for cat and cow, be aware of the hands. You want the hands under the shoulders, not too far forward, not too wide. You want the knees under the hips, not together, not forward. So you establish this nice firm base. Now, as you move the spine, see if you can articulate from the tailbone. So you add a degree of concentration and focus. So you feel the movements start with the tailbone, move into the lumbar spine, and the wave will move up through the mid-back, between the shoulder blades, and finally the chin will lift or drop, depending on what stage of cat and cow you're in. So this will help you move slowly with focus. Now try to coordinate it, synchronize it with the breath, so that as you come into sacred cow with head lifted, you inhale, and as you round into angry cat, you exhale. As you exhale, empty completely. So you might find yourself rounding the back and holding the stomach back in and up until you're empty. And then start to pick up speed. See how fast you can go. Synchronizing breath and movement. So don't lose the technique, but start to increase the speed. On the next exhale, widen the knees and come down to child pose. Resting the head on the ground or blocks or hands or fists. Knees wide so that the belly nestles between the thighs, and you feel that low back release. You feel the hips open. And then either patting the head or bringing the head to the mat, turn the head to the left. Create a rotation in the neck while in child pose. Turn the head the opposite direction, slowly. Inhale the head to neutral and tuck the chin towards the chest, even if the head lifts off the mat. Gently come back up to tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and this time push the left hip to the left and look over the left shoulder as if you're trying to gaze at the left hip, creating a spinal flexion. Feel that crunching sensation on the left side. Inhale the head to neutral. Exhale, crunch to the right this time. Push that right hip out. Look over that right shoulder, drop the right shoulder. Inhale to neutral and create a little dynamic movement left and right, crunching one side, turning the head, inhaling to neutral, and then crunching to the other side. So releasing the lateral muscles of the back and the core. Start to feel your rhythm here. When you start to feel a little flow, you can pick up the speed. Keep the flow. If at any time the knees or the hands get tired, the wrists or the knees, pad the knees or even come down to the elbows if that helps. For 3, 2, and 1. Come to the elbows and thread the right hand underneath the left armpit and extend the left leg. So you're balanced on that right shoulder, right knee. The ball of the left foot is on the mat. And you're just hanging out here for a bit, feeling the back open up from the shoulder blade and neck all the way down to the low back in a twist. If you need to support the head with your hand or a cushion, do so. So you don't want to be in neck discomfort here. You want to feel supported and stable and safe. And for the first time tonight, let each new breath become a little deeper. So start to slow your breathing. Three more breaths here. Now remember, coming out of a long twist like this, we want to come slowly and gently. Start by bringing that left knee back to the mat to take weight. Slowly lifting the torso. And come back to child pose, resting both arms behind you. Make sure the head is supported here. You can grab hold of your heel bones or simply drape the back of the hands on the mat. Notice the sensations on the right side of the body. The upper body, from the waist to the neck. Inhale, come back to tabletop. Crunch and look left. Inhale, neutral. Crunch and look right. And just notice after that twist if the crunching feels a little different from side to side. Three, two, and one. Come down to the elbows, threading the left arm underneath this time, resting the left side of the head on the mat, extend the right leg. Weight comes into that left knee, so make sure that feels supported if it needs padding. Close your eyes here and relax into gravity. Let gravity pull you down like a rock sinking down through water. Feel the weight bear down on the joint to get maximal compression. To create that massage type effect on the joint. And slow the breath. Five more breaths here. Remembering to come out slowly and gently when you're ready. Back into embryo. Hands resting behind you in that child pose position. You can grab heels or rest the hands on the ground. And feel the low back start to untether. Grab hold of the heel bones and lengthen the spine as much as you can. So your heel bones will anchor the hands and the shoulders while the spine tries to lengthen. Exhale, release. Come back to all fours. And slide the right knee into the right wrist. Slide the right foot under the left hip. And walk your left knee back slowly till you get a delicious stretch in your right thigh. Walk your hands and elbows to the right so your right hip comes to the ground. Left hand can be on the hip to really feel that. Bend the left knee, bend that back knee, and push the front foot forward until it's approximately a 90-degree angle at the knee. Scoop the flesh from the belly out of the way. Lay the torso over your front thigh and rest your elbows on the mat. Or if the elbows don't reach the mat, bring a blanket or towel underneath the elbow or elbows that don't reach. Prepare for a little dynamic deer here. Dynamic in the sense that we're going to do cat and cow here. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, drop the head. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the head last. So still working on that sequencing of the spine. Tuck the tailbone, exhale, draw the navel in, round the back, flare the back, drop the chin. Lift the tailbone, arch the back, lift the neck, lift the head, I should say. 2 or 3 more in that sequence. On that third sequence, push the left hip to the left without moving the knee, so it's an isometric push, and look over your left shoulder so you create that left crunch again in deer. Inhale neutral, exhale right crunch. So there's going to be minimal movement, but you're going to feel the isometric gripping of muscles as you crunch one side and then the other. Use neutral to fill the lungs. Exhale as you crunch. And from here, we'll walk the antlers out away from the head, bringing the head down towards the knee. Work on your slow breathing in this shape. It's a wonderful shape to increase the diaphragmatic muscles, strength, to breathe under pressure. Just slowly walk the hands back. Straightening the arms, let the arms pick you up. And bring your leg to the top of the mat, your left leg, and grab that right leg with your hands. Just feel a little seated pigeon here. And if you have a strap handy, grab your strap. Lay that foot back down on top of the thigh, the left thigh. If the left thigh is sensitive, the quad is like going, ooh, ouch, that feels a bit sharp, you can put a little towel between the ankle and the thigh. Grab your strap, hook up that left foot. Now this right knee is going to be in the air, so we can start by holding the strap with the left hand and pushing down with the right hand on top of the bent knee if you like, just to play with that dynamic. You'll feel that shoot into your hip a little bit. And then grab the strap. Now we're doing this without the pelvis elevated, so I'm already feeling the limitation with that. So I'm going to grab my towel, do my famous burrito fold here, and give my pelvis a little forward tilt by sitting on the edge of the towel. Ah, there you go. It's like a little Christmas present for the hips and the low back. Curl those toes back. Grab hold of your strap. And let's have a little quiz here. Which part of the body is being stretched? So answer that question. Which part of the body is relaxing? Could be the shoulders, it could be the face, could be the neck. So we're really getting into the back of that left leg right now and left low back. Everything else is happy. We're not grimacing, we're not making pirate sounds. Arr. We're happy. So find that edge where the joy of the stretch is still present. At any time you feel to go a little deeper, you can, as long as the upper body stays nice and soft. And the toes stay curled back. Exhale, slowly release, bring that strap off. And we'll work deer on the other side. So we'll start by bending the knees and just maybe swaying them a little bit side to side, release the hips. And then come onto all fours, tabletop. Slide that left knee forward to the left wrist. Swivel the left foot under the right hip and get that delicious walk back with the right knee until you feel that left thigh. Oh yeah. Left piriformis really starts to stretch out there. So we're kind of in that pre-pigeon shape where everything just feels, oh, that's nice. And then we'll take the pressure off the knee and the hip by extending the toes of the right foot, walking the hands and elbows to the left, leaning onto that left hip, right hip is exposed, bending both knees approximately 90 degrees. So you have that nice Z shape, as they say down under. The legs create a Z shape, a Z shape. Scoop the flesh from the left side of the belly and with hands or elbows supported or not. Well, they're going to be supported whichever way you look at it, either on the mat or on a towel or a cushion. As your breathing becomes rhythmic, incorporate cat and cow movement. And stay conscious of the sequence, tailbone to neck. Pause the cat and cow and come into side crunches. Creating a little bit of extra zing in the piriformis here. And then when you're ready, you can walk the hands out into deer pose. Keep walking out till you feel a delicious letting go in the shoulder joint, the hips, the piriformis on that left side. Three more breaths here, if you can. Use the hands to walk you back. Pausing at the top. And then you might have your strap handy and your towel or blanket, preparing for that half file log pose. Right leg extended, left leg up, and we'll just hold it in pigeon for a bit. So I can see some of you, got a lot of flexibility there. If you want to go a little deeper, you can wrap your elbows around the foot and the knee and grip the hands and rock your baby. Rock your wee one. Rock, rock, rock. And then prepare for half fire log. Once again, protecting the quad if it's too intense with that ankle. Strap the foot, toes curled back. Start with a nice horse riding stance, just holding the reins. You might even just hold the reins with one hand and push that left knee down and up a few times, just feeling that movement in the hip. And then when you're ready, you'll start to hinge forward, and that's going to bring the calf muscle into play. And the further you come forward, the hamstring will start to feel a release as well. One way to get a deeper sense of this pose is you can prop the right knee up with a cushion, and that will give you a lot more hinge space. So that's also a nice variation for this pose. Let's say your right calf muscle is just a whoa, or your right hamstring is just too tight. Just create a little bend in that right knee and prop it up with a cushion, and you can get a really nice, more of a low back release then. And then slowly come up, release the strap. Prepare for fire log pose. So take that left knee and bend it. And try to approximately have the shin parallel to the edge of your mat. So you're not bending it in like a classic heel to groin. The heel is away from the groin. Now I'm going to sit up a little taller here on my blanket, get a little more height, I think. I think that's going to help me. And then we're going to take the other foot and stack it. Now this is where a blanket or a block might be handy. So you can see my fire logs aren't really connected. You can see my right knee is up in the air away from that left foot. So what I'm going to do is take a little block and wedge it between the foot and the knee. So I've got that support on my right hip. Now over time what I want to do is start to pull that wedge further out as that right hip relaxes. Now if your knee is directly over the foot, fine. Toes curled back. This is where it starts to feel a little, ooh, yeah. Now most of us are going to feel something, especially in that right thigh, right hip. If it's too intense, pat it higher. And while we're here, we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing to calm the nervous system. So bring the hand up to the face. Now remember, what we're trying to do is interact the fingertips with the nostril. We're not pinching the fleshy part, we're simply covering the nostril with the tip of the finger and switching from side to side. For those of you who have a little more advanced practice, alternate the ring finger and the pinky finger on the left nostril. So you're using 3 fingers. The thumb works the right nostril. And then on one breath, the ring finger works the left nostril. And the next time round, the pinky works the left nostril. That just gives the brain more stimulation. And notice as you've been focusing on alternate hemisphere breathing. Notice how your fire logs are settling. Notice if that fire log on one side can come down a little bit now. You can pull the wedge out a little further. Three more breaths here if you can. Release the breathing technique and remain in fire log for a little longer. And then gently lean back, uncross the legs. Come off whatever you're sitting on and bring the hands beside the hips. Fingers splayed out, pointing towards the feet. Bring the feet together, toes curled back, push down through the hands, shoulders roll back, lift the spine. And feel staff pose. Feel your belly coming back and up. So you feel the abdominals supporting you here. Exhale, release. And we're going to come into fire log on the other side. So bending the opposite foot, I think it's your right foot. You might regain your pelvic support. This towel feels a bit uncomfortable. Once again, trying to get that that lower fire log roughly parallel to the mat. Heel is away from the groin. If the knee is up in the air, take a chock underneath it. And then lay your other fire log on top. So already I feel a difference on this hip. My hips are very asymmetrical. Play around here until you feel supported and make sure nothing's strained. Support what you need to support. You got blocks, cushions, blankets. And this time, take the opposite hand to do alternate nostril breathing. And with your alternate nostril breathing, resist the temptation to force the breath to conform to any breathing pattern. So you're not trying to make it deeper or slower. You're simply allowing the breath to follow its own course. The only thing you're manipulating is the direction of the inhale and exhale. It's either coming in one nostril and then out the other. That's the only thing. You're like a train track engineer. You simply change the tracks and the train, the breath, comes out of one nostril, comes back in the same nostril, and you change the track. Now sometimes the train, the breath, is going to be a long train. Sometimes a short train. Sometimes the train is going to move quickly, and sometimes slowly. And sometimes there might even be a pause where the train's not moving. So be curious about the wisdom of your breath. Your breath has its own wisdom that's trying to constantly bring you into homeostasis, balance. And the most powerful of balancing breaths is alternate nostril breathing. Notice how your fire logs are sitting. If you need to invite them to settle as they burn away in the fire, the resistance burns away, the muscles relax and the logs drop. Five more breaths if you can. Now when you release the hands, stay in fire log pose and simply notice the breath coming through both nostrils. Come onto your back, feet at the top of the mat, maybe supporting the head. Spinal twist. We'll start simply with a little dynamic movement, bringing the knees into the chest, alternating from side to side. Just releasing the joints, the hip and the knee from that last pose. Some of you might like to try Happy Baby with a little rock. And then dropping the feet, crossing the right knee over the left knee, floppy shin. Bring the hands out 90 degrees. Palms face downwards. And then pause. Push through the left foot. Lift the hips off the ground. Roll to the left hip, knees roll to the left. Turn the head to the left. Left hand grabs that top knee, and right hand is going to pummel the outside of the top glute, the right glute. Just punching, knocking, massaging, stimulating, percussing. If you want to tap down through the external thigh, you can. I use fingertips there. And then release, bring the hands back out 90 degrees, palms down, gently turn the head to the right. Slow the breathing. And on the exhale, invite the hips to relax. So through breath and mental focus, relaxing the hips in this lumbar twist. The mantra, I relax even more. I relax even more. And notice with those words echoing in the mind's eye, how the body can let go even more. Inhale the head to neutral as you bring the knees to neutral. Pick up the right leg, heel to heaven, and grab the hamstring and push the heel to heaven. And then take the right hand and push the right knee out to the right, stretching out that adductor. You can pick the left knee up here and hug it in, coming into the splits, into your check mark. And then slowly releasing. Floppy shin, other side. Hands out 90 degrees. For 3, 2, and flop the stop the flop. Push down through the right foot, elevate those hips. Roll to the right. And turn the head to the right. Grab that top thigh, left thigh, and start to knock, punch, massage, knead, pound, percuss. Create blood flow to this area. This is what we want. We want to stimulate this area with blood flow. To help repair the soft tissue damage. To bring vitality back into the cells. Tap the outside of that thigh if you like. And you'll probably find your own sensitive spot that just feels perfect. Couple more breaths and then turn the head the other direction, coming into your lumbar twist with the neck pointed in the opposite direction. I relax even more. I relax even more. Three more breaths here. Come out in stages, neck and head straighten first, then the hips. Then you can grab that top knee, the left knee, extend heel to heaven. You can pick up the right knee and push the left knee out into the splits, into the check mark. And then slowly releasing, making sure you're warm, come into 5-pointed star. Legs wide on the mat, hands out wide. Letting the whole body relax into rest. Make sure you're warm. If the mind is busy and wandering into the future or past, smile. All you have to do is smile. And you are brought back to this next breath. If your mind starts to wander off into the future or past, widen the smile. If you wish to stay in Shavasana, do so for as long as you like. If you're transitioning, transition gently. Take at least 10 to 12 breaths to transition. Always giving yourself lots of space at the end of the practice to do what you need. So giving ourselves space is a big part of our wellness and health. Mental, emotional, psychological, and physical space. So yoga is a great time to practice that. You bring your hands together at the chest in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you.